Hello, everyone. Today, I would like to talk about the laws of nature. The theme for today is power of deciding. This time, I'm going to share a very simple yet powerful way to create massive momentum in your life. A method that brings a strong tailwind into your life. And that method is exactly as the theme says, deciding. That's it. Have you ever heard words like these? You have to follow through on what you decide. You must finish what you start. If you don't, it's no good. Take responsibility. You decide it yourself. You've probably heard something like that before. At first glance, it sounds noble, but it feels strict, doesn't it? And once someone tells you, if you decide, then follow through, it can feel heavy. You might think, if I can't follow through, I must be a failure, or I'm irresponsible, or I am lazy. That kind of thinking makes you start to resent the act of deciding. You feel like once you decide, you have to stick with it no matter what. And if you give up halfway, it means you've failed. Eventually, deciding becomes something you fear. Because if you decide and things don't go well, you blame yourself and even start to dislike yourself. But under the laws of nature, deciding is incredibly important. So that means, regardless of the result, as long as you don't blame yourself, it is okay. Let's reframe it this way. Even if you change your mind multiple times, it's okay. You are not being judged by the outcome. I'm going to repeat this one more time. Even if you change your mind multiple times, it is okay. You are not being judged by the outcome. This way, you stop blaming yourself. Even if you decide something and change your plan 5 minutes later, that's okay. What matters is that you decide. That's what's most important. Why is deciding so important? Because without deciding, nothing begins. When you decide, things begin to move. Without a decision, nothing happens. No matter how difficult or simple it is, even if you don't know how to do it, even if you are not confident, even if you don't know if it will work out, even if you have no money, just deciding makes things move forward. The moment you say, this is what I'm going to do, a tailwind begins to blow in your life. Let me give you an easy example. It's like the board game. You say, I'm going to do this. And at that moment, the wind begins to blow behind you, and you find yourself moving smoothly toward the goal. This is the smoothest case scenario. The only thing this person did was to decide at the starting point. From there, the natural forces stepped in and blew them straight to the goal. Well, here is another example. Someone decides at the starting point, this is what I will do. The movement begins. Again, a tailwind appears. But then they hit a wall. Things don't go as expected. Problem arise. And they think, see, I knew deciding wouldn't work out. But if you look closely, the moment they decided, things had already started moving. They are no longer at the start. They've progressed. Their perspective has changed. Even if they hit a wall, face a trouble, or get off a track, they can always redecide or change direction, try a different method. By deciding again, a new path opens up. A new stage is prepared by nature. Then another new situation or scenery appears. Whether the place they end up is what they originally wanted or not, what matters is simply decide again. When you decide, things move. Once you decide, you are no longer stuck. Whether the outcome matches what you originally wanted or not, you experience the movement because you chose to decide each time. This is why the power of deciding is so important. What propels things forward powerfully is the adjusting force of nature. The stage, the path, and opportunities all unfold in response to your internal state. So, you are allowed to change your decision as many times you need. You are not judged by the outcome. You don't need to blame yourself if you abandon a decision. Follow through no matter what. Stick to what you decided. These might sound amazing, but eventually it becomes hard to keep deciding. That said, there are people who find benefits in not deciding. Well, if I don't decide, I don't have to face failure. If I just follow someone else's decision, I can blame them if it goes wrong. In fact, there are many benefits to not deciding for yourself. But strictly speaking, if you don't decide, will nothing happen? No, things around you will still change. There is a Buddhist teaching called Shogyo Mujo. All things are impermanent. Everything is constantly changing. That's a universal law. Even if you don't do anything or make any decisions, you still age. The world around you keeps changing. And if you go your entire life without deciding for yourself, just following what others decide, eventually you will suffer. This is also one of nature's laws. So today, I shared why deciding is so important. It doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter what the result is. It doesn't matter how much money, skill, or experience you have, even with no guarantees. Just saying, all right, I'm going to try this. That's enough for nature to bring a tailwind into your life. Nature will provide you with a different stage, a different path. What the stage is will vary from person to person. It could be a new location, new connections, money, or information. Whatever matches your decision. You might think, wait, all I have to do is decide? And the answer is yes. That's enough to move things forward. With such a powerful law at our disposal, there is no reason not to use it. It requires no money, no effort, no willpower, just the decision. But here's a caution. Because of a habit, even zero point 0.1 seconds after deciding, I'll try this, you might start thinking, what about money? I don't have time. What will people think? What if I inconvenience someone? What if I fail? Those what ifs and the doubts creep in right away. To prevent this, you need practice. Those thoughts come from old habits. And you don't need to blame yourself for having them. Just hit reset. Forget the conditions, the circumstances, the doubt. Just ask yourself, what do I really want to do? Then, okay, that's what I want. And simply decide. So, what do you do after you decide? Let it go. Once you decide, something will start to move. When that happens, just go with it. Even if you hit a wall, fail, or things don't go as planned, just decide again and ask, if there were no conditions, what would I want? Reset your decision and the movement will come again. When deciding, the key is, if there were no conditions, no money, time, skill, issues, what would I want to do? Declare that and then let it go. It's a very simple method. If it interested you, give it a try. That's it for today. Thank you.